Do you remember those days walking home after a particularly bad day at school? Having to deal with facing bullies the next day, arguments with friends, or the isolating thought of not having many friends at all. Those thoughts clouded in my mind during my childhood and early adolescent years. I wanted to be stronger, more confident, to have fun and to go on adventures with friends. And no show better embodied that perfect image I had in my head than Akira Toriyama's Dragon Ball. It was like an event every time it aired on TV. It broke records, shattered boundaries, and was the gateway that helped me make many meaningful friendships as a child. But did its modern successor translate the spirit of the original beyond communicating the story of self-improvement, adventure, and friendship? How was it that this anime captured the hearts and minds of millions of new and old generations of fans throughout the world? Join me today as I attempt to explore the complex emotions surrounding why I loved it, and maybe even why you loved it, as I dive headfirst into the colorful, messy, lighthearted action thrill ride that was... It had been over a decade in the West and almost 2 decades since Japanese audiences had a new Dragon Ball anime on TV to watch. With the original series creator Akira Toriyama directly involved, unlike another anime, I'm sure Toei Animation Shueisha didn't expect Dragon Ball Super to take off like it did across the world. However, unlike Dragon Ball Z, it's had more than its fair share of criticism, seeing as it's one of the most popular Japanese properties in the world and suffered from enormous production issues throughout. To try and figure out just what it was that attracted and kept so many people watching and why it's so popular, I'm not going to do that. Today I'm just going to explain why I love Dragon Ball Super, why it resonated with me and how I felt about its ending. And if you guys disagree or felt something else entirely, that's cool. I mean, this video is called Why I Love Dragon Ball Super. So if you want to disagree, be sure to leave me a comment down below. Dragon Ball Super's not going to be perfect. That's what I told myself right before watching the very first episode back on July 5th, 2015. On March 25th, 2018, I watched the very last episode of Dragon Ball Super. That felt incredibly strange to say just now. I mean, Super has sort of become an enormous part of my life over the last 3 years. Having watched it week to week, writing about it and researching it, it's been no secret to me that the show has had huge struggles during its time on the air, be it on the production side or elsewhere. The show hasn't been perfect. Not by a long shot, but for some reason, that doesn't matter to me. Sitting beside my brother while watching the last episode unfold before my eyes, I couldn't help but remember the journey the show has brought me on throughout the years. Whether it be the ball of anxiety and excitement I was moments before the first episode's airing, the shock episode 5 brought to everyone which ultimately led me to this online animation community I'm part of today, the feeling of lying in bed as Goku screamed Kaioken trying to temper my excitement lest I wake those sleeping around me, the countless theories surrounding the identity of Goku Black, the more crazy the better, my introduction to the Spanish side of Dragon Ball's community, God bless you Ultra Instinct Shaggy Completo, and countless other wonderful engaging experiences that I got to share with you all thanks to this show. Yes, despite not being perfect while watching the last episode, I had a big dumb smile plastered right across my face as Goku and Frieza, my 2 favorite characters, fought alongside one another to bring Universe 7 to victory. And thanks to things like the internet, this all felt like a worldwide shared experience. In various countries across the world, there were giant screens set up in public squares. Now don't get me wrong, I can point to numerous instances where the show falters, melts, and flat out makes no sense quite easily, but I can't help but love it all the same. 3 years ago, I found myself working a job I hated. That ruined my health, my sleeping pattern, and afforded me little time to see anyone in my life. I was miserable. Shortly after, Dragon Ball returned and inspired me to try something new. A YouTube channel. I named it Totally Not Mark because at the time, I wanted to be anyone other than me. I can confirm with absolute certainty that's no longer the case, and I am incredibly proud of this little corner of the internet I've built from nothing with you guys. Dragon Ball Super isn't perfect, but it has afforded me, just some random guy, the ability to talk, showcase, and discuss what I love with almost 100,000 people every week. Through Dragon Ball, I've had the honor of making wonderful new friendships with the likes of Anime AJ, Geekdom 101, Masago X, and countless others. So while watching that last episode, as the chaos of the tournament had concluded and the tone began to shift, I felt a feeling similar to what Dragon Ball Z left me with as a child. Similar, not identical. When I first saw Dragon Ball Z, I was 10 years old. It helped me, an awkward, shy kid, to socialize with other people my age and find my footing in my formative years. When Dragon Ball Z ended, it genuinely felt as though a friend had left for good, if that makes any sense. When Dragon Ball Super began, I was 23. It helped me find my way out of a dark place through hard work, perseverance, and determination. It made me laugh, it made me leap from my seat with excitement, and it inspired me to follow my dreams. Be it Krillin's struggle to keep up with Goku, Vegeta's trying to catch up, Zamasu saying Ningen, or the countless wonderful experiences I've shared with all of you over these last few months and years. It's been one of the most eye-opening magical experiences of my entire life. Dragon Ball just has something that sets itself apart from every other form of entertainment out there for me. It, without fail, turned me into a kid again, and any element of cynicism or nitpick immediately took a back seat as I was launched into this wondrous action-packed thrill ride. It's not perfect, but I couldn't help it. I got caught up in the gut-punching, earth-shattering, scream-inducing supernova that was Dragon Ball Super. I, without reservation, loved Dragon Ball Super. And no matter what way I look at it, it just fills me with happiness. I love Dragon Ball Super not because I can't see anything wrong with it, but I love too much about it to care about the bad. As the episode began to wind down and we were greeted for the last time with the two characters many of us had grown up with, you might have felt emotional, had been filled with nostalgia, or indifference, but I couldn't help but look on with that same wide-eyed smile I had when I was a kid. Dragon Ball Super wasn't perfect, but it was more than good enough for me. I want to take this opportunity to thank all those who helped produce Dragon Ball Super behind the scenes through all of its hardships. You are the real heroes of this series. Through all of the trials and tribulations plaguing this animated production, they managed to deliver not only the best ending this series has seen in my opinion, but also one of the strongest, if not the strongest, standalone episodes I have ever seen. I want to thank each and every one of you for listening to me ramble on about this. I'm not going to say goodbye to Dragon Ball, but until we meet again, Goku, matane.